Right, first of all, let's go to create and polygon and primitive, and you can use this one. You can choose this pipe. Pipe. Start with pipe. You could start with the cylinder, or you could start with others. Yeah, but pipe. Choose pipe, but use pipe. And the key to open manipulator. All right. You can leave the radius 1 and height 2 and thickness 0.5 and subdivisions axis type 8. 8 will be more than enough. Is that right? 8? Yeah, axis 8 and subdivision height 1. Subdivision caps 0. It looks like this right now. Okay, next step is all we need the faces that all we need to create a buttons are this. Only top faces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only top faces. And then that means we should get rid of the rest of them. So let me show you one tips. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna select all top faces. First of all, right click. Do you remember how to get to face mode? Face, a face. You can hold down shift key, right? 2 faces, 3 faces, or click a face and hold down shift key, and then go to very next face, double click, and select all a faces. And then we like to use our new hotkey shortcut. Shift and command. Shift and command and India. With this, you can select the inverse. See, the rest of faces. And then delete. See that? So we got only 8 faces. Okay, so remember this one has 8 faces. Now we're gonna go to top view. Hit spacebar. Let's go to top view only. Top view. And how to select this object? Right click and select object mode. And you can move around this. And then we need to duplicate this one 3 times so that you can create the 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. A button with 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. So how to duplicate this one? Parker, do you remember how to duplicate this?
Say it again. Sorry.
How to copy and paste this? Duplicate.
Oh, Shift S.
What?
Shift S.
No. Janet, remember how to duplicate?
Command C and Command D?
D, Command D, right. So duplicate Command D, like Delta, Delta. Command D, and then place something here. Command D, again. Command D. Command D. So that you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. Are you okay until here? 1, 2, 3, 4 holes? I think the best place that you can work, for this kind of items, this kind of form is top view. So you should clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Next, the most important lesson for today is snap tool. Snap tool. Does anyone ever use snap tool? Snap to grid. What is a grid? Snap to grid. This is a grid. This grid, and the snap to point. Has anyone ever used grid? Snap to grid. Snap to point. Okay. So let me ask you something. Matty, I'm gonna place this one like this one exactly in the center of this 1, 2, 3, 4 in a grid. Also, I'm gonna place this one exactly center of this 1, 2, 3, 4 in a grid. Same thing goes here. Same thing goes here. This one too. I place like this. Is this correct? Is this accurate? Is this precise way to place this at the center?
Is the hotkey, is it B?
Mm-hmm. What kind of hotkey did you have? Hotkey, what kind of hotkey?
Oh, B? Is it B? I can't remember exactly.
You are smart girl. Yeah, that was a V. That is correct. V, like a Victor. So hold on V. Okay, you should not do any guesswork. When you place this object at the center on this grid, use V as a Victor. Hold down V, and then you should see in a tiny inner circle. Sorry. V is the grid to point. X, hold down X. Yeah, X. Sorry. X is a snap to grid. V is a snap to point. Okay, select this one too. Hold down X. See now while holding down an X key, this object sticks snaps to all the grids. So here this one too. Hold down X, not V. So what if you hold down in a V instead of X? So it goes to point. See, it goes point. See, it goes point. So hold down X, and place like this. So now we don't see wireframe. Do you like to see wireframe while making this kind of object? So you can activate that in wireframe if you want to. But if you don't want to see wireframe, you can turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Sometimes you may want to hide in a grid if you want to. See. All right. So now we have place all these four holes in the proper position. So next step is we like to highlight everything, select everything. And then combine. Where is the combine tool? You need to go to modeling toolkit, and then click on this combine. See, PB point has been placed at the center of these four objects. So now you can move all four objects together. And then right click, edge. And then watch out, I'm gonna select these edges, hold down shift, 2 edges, 3 edges, 4 edges, and then bridge. Right, do the same thing for here, 1 edge, 2 edges, 3 edges, 4 edges, and then bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, bridge. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, bridge until here. Can you guess how to fill that the hole in the middle of this object? You can also put I'm gonna select this edge and this edge and then bridge. That will work. Or you can just select just one edge among these 4 and go to mesh, and you can find this fill hole. See? You might wonder so what we've been doing with this object. What if you hit in the 3 to see your object under preview mode? So it looks like this now. Oh, I think I made some mistake here. What kind of mistake I made it? Alright, let's go to our perspective view. Do you see this kind of issues? I'm going to redo this. Okay. You know what happened? Separate. So when you see this kind of problem, you should highlight everything and then separate and then delete this. I see. Select all. There we go. Okay. Double check. All looks fine. Zoom by. Just like this. Okay, so now we need another pipe. Okay, another pipe. So we go to create polygon primitives and select this pipe again. And instead of just clicking this pipe, I want you to click on this empty box next to the PIPE, say pipe, and it will open polygon pipe options. We're gonna leave that radius value as 1 and height on 2 and the thickness 0.5. That's fine. Axis divisions. Let's go ahead and type in 20 if you don't see 20 in axis divisions. And then axis should X, Y, Z. Yeah, definitely Y. Axis divisions 20 and axis Y, and then apply. There we go. So now. Yeah, this is kind of tiny, and we're gonna make it a little bigger, something like this. And then, alright, we're gonna do the same thing that we did earlier for this pipe. Go to face mode, and also I'm gonna select the all faces, from the top of this pipe. Hold on, double C, select all faces from top, and the command Shift and India, right? And select the rest of them, selecting inversely, and then delete, so that we can have only the flat, like a circle here, flat ring. All right, now you should notice that there is a huge gap in between these two objects. So we need to go to either in a front view or side view. And first of all, I'm going to go to object mode, and then maybe could select both. You see that the distance between this one and this one. So now what we're going to do, we're going to place both items in both objects to the origin, the center of this grid. Where is the center, by the way? Center is center is right here, center, where the thick line, lines meet. Okay, before moving this two, first of all, we like to check the pivot point of each object. Alright, so select this, the flat in the ring that we just created, the new one, this one, this. Okay. So we need to bring this pivot point of this new inner flat ring to the center, at the middle of this ring. All right, how to relocate this pivot point at the center of this new inner flat ring? Just go right here. Do you see this icon right here? Center in a pivot, center pivot. Or you can go to modify, and here is on the pivot you should see center pivot, center pivot, or just click this icon, center pivot. So why is it important? So look at this. If a pivot point is right here, so when it comes to rotate this one, do you see that? This rotation occurs from the pivot point. So once you click on the center pivot icon, you should be able to rotate, see, from real actual center is this. So what about this one? The only one, also click this one, pivot point, center pivot. Now, so both, okay, two pivot points of both an object have been placed at the center. Now we like to select this and also hold down X key, and W first, and X, hold down X and place the center right here. Do you see the center? Also select this, hold down X, center. And I go to top view, I'm going to edge mode, and double click the inner circle, and the scale, I'll make it something like this. Okay, now I'm going to go to my top view and front view, side view, and flip them over. Perfect. See, now it's perfect. Okay. So as you can see, these are kind of separate, individual separate items. So we need to combine these two. Select both, and then simply click on combine, so that you can move whole things together. Combine first, and then before I combine, sorry, undo. What I'm gonna do? Maybe you could rotate this outer, circle, the flat ring. And try to align this line here. See, align this so that this point and this point meet. If you use something like this, try to align this line. See, these and these lines and this line. So it's better than this, and then combine. Okay, last time we used a bridge tool, to connect all these 4 rings, but this time we're gonna use target weld. Do you see here the target weld? With target weld, you can easily connect these two points and two vertices by dragging something like this. See? Just simply click and drag it. Click and drag it. click and drag it. So click. Just drag one inner vertex to another vertex. Drag a vertex to another vertex. Very simple. Yeah, playful. See? So I'm done.
Really?
Oh yeah, W and X. Yeah, it looks still completely flat, like a sheet of paper. So we need to add some depth, some thicknesses on here. Right click and then object. Edge. Double click. Hold down Shift. Double click. Hold down Shift. Double click. Or what you can do is double click and select all the edges around this hole, and go to select and choose. Yeah, this is also very useful in the tool. Similar. If you click and select the similar, it will select all 1, 2, 3, 4. Not really. I think I made some mistake. So let's try again. Select similar. I think some glitches. Yeah, it looks like it selected only 2 edges, not whole things. It doesn't matter. Hold down, just Shift and select the all edges. Alright, looks like I selected. I missed one here. I missed this one. Right, so we selected all the edges of 4 holes. So at the same time, we keep holding down and Shift and select the edges outside, the outline, say outside of this button. Okay, now we know what tool we're gonna use for adding some depth. Extrude, right? Extrude. There we go. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, let me quickly hit 3 to see. Now it looks like this. Go back to 1. Eugene, that looks like upside down. shape looks fine. Yeah. Just keep on. And then, so what? See, try to hit in the 3. It looks okay, but I don't like the edges of those four hole. I like to see harder edges around each hole, harder, cleaner, and neater, kind of sharper edges. So how to add some harder edges, nice and harder edges. So again, select the edges, like the double click, select edges. Let's try again, select similar. It still doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, edges. Double click, double click, double click, and then we're gonna use this one, bevel. Right here. Do you see this bevel? Do you remember bevel? Bevel. That's a bevel, and then also you might add just 1 or 2 segments there, so then you can achieve harder edges around those holes. Alright, segment, yeah, 2 or 3, yeah, I think 2 will be fine. And the fraction, about 3, 2. Alright, let me quickly hit 3 again. Okay, do you see this? Look at this. Now we got hard edges around the circle. And let's add a little more detail by using other tools. So one of the the most popular tool that we have used many times while creating your first animation was this one, Insert Edge Loop tool. Do you remember this one? Insert Edge Loop tool. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select Insert Edge Loop tool. So why don't you add an additional segment? Probably one more right here. See, I'm gonna add 2 there. With this, like for instance, what if you drag it down, maybe up, down, yeah, up, so a little bit here, and then okay, just small detail. So let me hit 3. Yeah, it's a very subtle, but typically the buttons have that kind of subtlety on the surfaces. So what if I go to face here? I'm gonna go a little extreme. Do you see this? So look at this. First of all, you put this in center field. So this is center field first. And that's magnitude. X. X. Do you see the difference now? And this one too. Hold on, X. That's not from Are we done? So what about here on the other side? Empty, right? Empty. Okay. Another good lesson that we'd like to learn today is a meter. Do you remember meter tool? Meter. Alright, so we like to use a meter to create the other side of this button. Where is the meter? Meter is right here, meter. So first of all, we need to go to object. And as you can see on the lower left, you see, so we need half of these buttons to actually y-axis. Yeah, this is x-axis, y-axis, and g-axis. So y-axis. So double click on this meter. So you need to select this half in a button first, and double click on this meter and open the meter options. And what is it? First of all, let's go to edit and reset in a setting. The reason why we need to do this, select this reset setting all the time, is because Maya remembers, the very last in the command, whoever, whatever, made it. So go to edit and the reset setting. And as I told you earlier, so we need the y-axis. And what is it? This is meter axis y. And the border, merge border vertices. Yeah, I think that should be right. I think that's it. The most important thing that you need to check. To meter, this button is axis, meter axis, and border, merge border, vertices, and then click apply. There we go. Why we don't see? We have this, and then we have to, talk about this, cut geometry. Tag on is fine. Axis Y, definitely that's the right one. See, it should be Y axis, and the border, borders, and this doesn't do anything here. Okay. See, you should let's go -1 here. So too much, right? I type in 0.2. That looks like about right. So you need to mess with this polymeter option at the panels with this. What I did, definitely not on. I used the off, right? And axis position world. I didn't change anything. I think I changed this one, offset in value a little bit, minus point 2, and axis. I didn't change this one. Why? I didn't change this one, merge border. That's a smoothing. Yeah, I changed a little bit here, and then you should see kind of perfect, button. So what if we go to mesh tool and insert X-loop tool again? One more here. What I'm gonna do, something a little decorative. Okay. Go like this, and the face mode. What if we use the extrude? Alright, so why don't you go ahead and save this file if you want to. Otherwise, let's start new document. Alright, let's create this. As I told you earlier, so these 4 lessons are all very similar, very almost the same lessons. You understand how to create our first lessons buttons. You should be able to create this kind of object as well. All right, so new scene. Patterns. So we're gonna start with in a cylinder instead of a pipe in this time, and cylinder and sub and axis 6 and sub caps 2. Okay, cylinder. Let's go to create polygon primitives, and we have sphere, cube, and cylinder. Right, the cylinder. So I want you to select this empty box. All right, hold on, don't click on apply, and we have polygon, cylinder options, and the radius 1 and height 2. That's fine. And axis divisions, you can have a 6. Okay, 6 there. And the height division 1 is fine. And cap divisions, so you can go 2 there. Alright, axis division 6. Cap divisions 2. And the axis X, Y, Z, so we're gonna use Z instead of Y. Alright, so click apply, and you should have this one, this kind of cylinder. The axis that I chose was a Z axis, not Y axis. Alright, so now first of all, so we have one cap here, so right click and go to edge, and I'm going to select this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges, and hit all. I'm going to change the scale a little bit. That's basically what we're doing here. So go to face mode, and select the one face, 6 faces, Command Shift India. Select the rest of the things, and that you like to get rid of. There we go. So in our earlier lesson, we worked on top view mostly, but this time we're going to go to actual front view. Definitely not side view. We can only see just the line, and if you go to front view, you should see the whole thing of this object. So go to top front view right here. Front view. Okay, can you try X key, holding down X key, the W first, W, and holding down X key, so you can move something like this, right? Snap to grid. Actually, this is it. This is snap to grid, and this one is snap to point. Snap to grid, snap to point. So hold down X key, place some here. All right. Hold down X key and place this at the center of this 4 grid, 1, 2, 3, 4 grid, and we're going to duplicate this one. Command D, duplicate, and we have 2 here. And as you can see, where is PB point? PB point of this one is of course center. If not sure, you can always go there and click the center in a pivot. So for instance, you externally move the PB point. Okay, it happens all the time. So let's say you move PB point. PB point is right here. See, PB point is right here. So with this pivot point, what if you rotate this one? Say pivot point, the rotation occurs from the pivot point, not from the center of this object. So how to bring that in pivot point back to the where it used to be? You go this icon and click on the center pivot. See, now center. So look at this, center. And same thing right here. So you're not sure, always go right here and click this, center pivot. And this time we're going to use another shortcut hotkey, snap to points, not snap to grid. Hold down V as a Victor. V, W first, right? W, move to, and the V. Do you see this? Do you see this? X, try this, X again. X, and the V equals the point. See? Oh, point. X. Okay, so before moving this guy and place it right up, around here, this is original object, this is a kind of duplicate one. And what we're going to do, we're going to hit in a V first. You're going to hit a D first. D. Delta. As a delta. You see that the icon in the middle has been changed. And then V. Move. I think you can place here. Place this pivot point right here, pivot point. Once it's done, you can hit W. Say, let me try to rotate this. You see that? So pivot point is right here, this point right now, not at the center. So again, if you hit this icon, center in a pivot, just go back to the pivot point, go back to the center of this icon. Okay, so we like to place this pivot point here, this vertex, this point. Hit D first, delta, and the V. Hold down V, and then hold down V, and the left mouse button. Alright, so now hold W first. W is what? W is move to, and V again, V, and move right here. Let's place it right here. Okay, as you can see, there are two separate objects. Okay, and then we're gonna select the both and the combine. Now this is one object. Okay, we combined. Duplicate again. Yeah, Betty, that's correct. Alright, so watch out, this is very important now. So we combined those two, and then duplicate Command D. So same thing we should do for this. Okay, pivot point has been created, has been placed center of this object. So first D, that's delta D, and then V is a beta, and the left mouse button, and then place it somewhere here. Now while moving this in a pivot point in another position, it happens sometimes it rotate, rather than moving something like that. So when it happens, right mouse button, and then choose this one, reset pivot orientation. Reset pivot orientation. Yeah, we're done. So now W and Victor, again Victor, place something like this. Alright, next, so we like to duplicate this one more, like 8 times, rather than Command D 8 times. This time what you're gonna do, we like to use this one, duplicate special. Also, this is awesome, awesome tool, awesome menu. It's very, very, very useful. I noticed that. So duplicate, we're gonna use duplicate special, and then duplicate this what? 8 times, so that total 10 instead of Command D. Alright, so after selecting this, if you go to channel box, you should see the measured distance between both edges of this. I'm talking about this, both edges, from here to here, right? 3 centimeter, cm and centimeter, 3 centimeter. From here to here. So to remember this one, translate an X as 3 centimeter. Alright, so we are about duplicating 8 of this. Go to edit and the duplicate special, and go to box. This is duplicate special option. Geometry type copy, of course, and the group under parents. I think you can ignore this one. This is important. After how many more? 8. See, place 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So now, and translate X, Y, Z. So what number we should type in X? 3 right here. 3. Do you see that? No, 3. Right, 3. Translate 3. And rotate 0, 0, 0. We're not going to rotate. We're not interested in rotating this. And the scale, we're not interested in changing the scale. No. What about number of copies? How many? 8. Say 8. And apply. Okay, we're done. Look at this. So total numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. And although Okay, these looks just one object, but actually not. They're all separate objects. You see that? They're all separate objects. So don't forget to combine this. Select everything. Combine. We have combined several times today. Yeah, combine. So now this is just one object. You see that? Just one object. Combined. So after this, so we need to duplicate this one. Yes, we can. Command D, duplicate place like this. And basically, we like to duplicate 8 times more. You want to do Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command. No, we're not going to do. Instead, we're going to use this one. Duplicate and special. First of all, okay, can you guys watch out this? Watch. Okay, this is duplicate one. And PB point is has been placed exactly center of this object. So we need to relocate this one. Hit D, doctor, right? And then V, left mouse button, and place V, Victor, and place right here, the point, any point. And also hit W, move to, and the V, and place like this. See, this is kind of perfect in a way to place both the groups of object. So you don't have to do any guesswork. And then the two separate objects, that's not good, so we need to combine this, right? So select both. Oh, before that, so you have to duplicate. Okay, how many times? And 8 times. Select this, and we like to find out the distance between here and here. Do you see that? Here and here. That's a 1.732 centimeter. 1.732 centimeter. Okay, so just copy this and go to edit and duplicate special. Duplicate special in options. We edit the resend, translate X, Y, Z. Go to Y axis, and I'm gonna type the 1.732, and the number of copy 8. Yeah, so number of copy 8. Alright, those are separated. As you can see, those are all separated. All separated. We need to combine. Highlight all. Combine again. Okay, now this one object. Just make sure that you go to vertex mode, especially when you're dealing with the many patterns. Highlight. Go to vertex mode and highlight all vertices, and then do this. Merge. This is my recommendation, especially when you're dealing with the many tiny patterns. Just select all vertices and go to edit mesh and select this merge. Merge. Alright. So quickly go to perspective view. So again, this is kind of flat in object and has no depth at all. Object mode. Which tool we should use to add depth? Definitely extrude, right? Extrude. And add some depth here. Not this way. This is the opposite. The right way. Alright. Well, already 523. So, and then we're gonna bend this one. So when you bend this one, go to object mode. Do you remember this one? I think I showed you guys how to use this non-linear and bend. So let me quickly do this. Deform, non-linear and bend, and I'm gonna select this. I will select this, okay, and then deform, non-linear and bend, and you should see this kind of being in a line. With this, you can apply this curvature, but this is the wrong direction. We're gonna do rotate it 90-degree curvature. You can find these curvatures in either under input and channel box, or you can go to attribute editor and then find the curvature. See, look at this, the curvature. The non-linear. Yeah, non-linear. Deform and non-linear. Yeah, unfortunately, look at this. We went all the way to the end, 180 degree, but still we see some gaps here. So I noticed that this gap after typing 180, see negative 180, positive 180, we still see some gap. In this case, you just type it like 184 degrees. See, now we don't see. So once it's done, okay, this is also very important. So say we still see this bend, tool here. With this, what kind of issue, what kind of problems you might encounter in the long run? unless otherwise you remove and delete this band tool. See, I'm gonna select this, okay, new object that I created, and then I'm gonna move this. You see that? See? So I'm gonna grab this. You see that? You see this kind of weird things until you remove this band tool. So how to remove this band tool? So go to channel box and you should see under band here, or you just simply go to edit and delete all by type and choose this history. So if you select this, the delete all by type and history, Maya will remove, delete the all the command, all the operations that you have made it so far. So let me click this history and then watch this band will, after selecting history, you won't see this band anymore, or you won't see this thin green line anymore. See, delete all by type. Right? You see, now we don't see. So let me relocate this out again. See, nothing happens. Now it's perfect. See? So let's try again. This selected. I wanted to show you how to use the similar tool, but it didn't work while we were making buttons. So again, so I'm gonna add some sort of bevel, back there. So right click and edges. What I'm gonna do, I'll select these edges. As you can see, I selected these edges, and then go to select and similar. See, it select everything, similar edges. So which means you don't have to select every single edges, the circle or the hole edges of the hole, and then go to modeling. So here is bevel. Do you see that? You can add this nice bevel in effect all around this at once, simultaneously, and the segment.